look at here. How we doing, folks? How we doing? How we doing? Good evening, good evening, good evening. And welcome to the Riding with Ksolo, the podcast show. Hey, folks, we got a good one lined up for you tonight. I'm excited to have the chair of the SCMA on. And I'm telling you, folks, if you are a first time SCMA member, rider, you need to tune into this one. You need to tune into this one. So listen, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and bring my co-host in. Hey, Tone, how you doing, sir?
I'm good. How you feeling today?
Hey, man, I feel fine. I feel fine. A little rain going on and been drizzling, trying to stay out of it because I'm still trying to get over that Ocean City cold that I picked up, man. And I'm telling you, it's just lingering with me, lingering.
I was getting ready to say you sound better. You
Yeah.
sound better than you did last week.
Oh man, it was rough. I was nasally, man, just trying to breathe, trying to talk. Hey, welcome, Joe and Bev. How y'all doing? Come on in, folks. Come on in. We are glad you are here with us tonight. It's going to be Tone Tea Time from Philly.
Yes, sir.
And guess who? And guess who? Philly playing first out the gate, the open.
Oh yeah, I know. I know. Listen, I know all of this. I just waiting.
They playing them boys. Oh my
I'm
lord,
just
boy!
waiting.
They want a grip for those tickets, though, man. I'm telling you, they want a grip for the tickets. So I'm.
It's all right. You gonna be my first phone call when the game come on.
Hey, come on in, folks. Hey, how you doing, Dennis? How you doing, Bolo? Mark, how you doing? Oh man, I am so glad you guys are with us
Good
tonight.
evening, there, everybody. Good evening.
Yes, come on in, come on in. Swole guy, how you doing? Come on in. But listen, folks, without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and bring our special guest in, Mr. Mark Burdick. How you doing, Mark?
I'm doing great.
Outstanding, sir. Outstanding.
All right, there, Mark.
We are glad to have you with us tonight, to share some of that information with us, to kind of fill us in, to catch us up with what's been going on with the SCMA. But before we get started, sir, would you please go ahead and introduce yourself to our audience tonight?
Sure. My name is Mark Burdick, and I see a lot of people joining that I know that are members of the Southern California Motorcycle Association, and I really want to thank you for being members, and I can't wait to see you all out on the road again. But I've been chairman for about 3 years. Before that, I was on the board as a risk manager to kind of handle insurance issues for about 3 years. And then before that, I was just a rider like everybody else, which I still am. You know, basically,
Right.
I'm still a rider.
Okay. Always a rider. Always a rider. Always learning. Always about the adventure. And that's what I love about the SCMA.
Show.
Yes. Tone, would you go ahead and introduce yourself to the people tonight? Because we got some new faces and names coming across.
Good evening, everybody. For those that don't know me, my name is Tone. You know me through Facebook. If you know me from riding for a long time, most people call me Tea Time. Call me either or. I'm flexible like that. But glad to be here, and I'm glad to see Mark.
Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah, it's always great to see Mark. Mark is all he's you know ever since he stepped up to the plate, man. The time that I've been riding the Three Flag Classic, he always made us feel welcome. He always
Definitely.
come up and ask us questions. Are you guys good? Do you need anything? And man, that makes you feel real good. You know what I'm saying? When you join a large organization like that, when you got hundreds of people around, and then the head person come and ask you, "Are you all right? Are you okay?" So it really makes me feel a part of it. And then too. Now, I ain't gonna say everybody can do this, but I have this personal number that if I get in a jam or something like that, I don't understand.
Yeah.
I can pick the phone up and
Absolutely.
give him a call, which is awesome.
I have his
Absolutely.
number as well. But let me add to that. Um, he is very informative. He's very helpful, and he's very inviting.
Yes.
I will say this: if you join the SCMA and you want to come to any of the rides, you're going to get some emails.
Oh yeah.
Um, you're going to know Mark's name very well. You're going to know his name very well. When you see him, you're going to finally feel like, yeah, I know him. I met him. We've been having this communications all this time, but he's really do a good job at communicating and
Thank you.
making you feel welcome even before you get to the ride. So
Yeah.
just want to say hats
Thank
off
you.
to you for that.
Yeah.
Thank
And
you.
that's great and shows a great organization about the organization itself, because when you go on a ride, man, they're sending you updates As we progress and get closer to it. They're giving you updates on the mapping, road closures, and all of that. And we're going to get into that, folks. We're going to get into it as we dive into it. Tonight, we basically just want to just introduce some to the SCMA and what it has to offer as far as different tours and different events. Some of you may have heard of the Four Corners ride. I know a lot of people have their own version of it, but this is the SCMA USA Four Corners, and they also have the True X that falls under there, which is an awesome ride within itself. But let's go ahead and kind of dive into this thing, Mark, so we can just get to the meat and potatoes of it all. First thing I just want to let people know is that, hey, they have a new website up. They had the SCMA 3.1 website. You can go and check it out at right there. You can see it under Challenge Starts With You. HTTPS /backspace SC/MA.com. There you go. I can barely see it myself, but these slides are good. But the thing, folks, is they have a new website up. You can actually see all of the information, how to register, where to register, the rules and regulations about when you participate during a ride. And also you can upload your pictures. Now, Mark going to get more into it because the system is different now. Am I correct, Mark?
That is correct. And it's still under construction. We're still revising it as we're speaking.
Right. So what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of give you an overview, folks, especially for our new riders that's just now getting out there saying, hey, I want to do the SCMA rides. So without further ado, folks, we're going to go ahead and kind of break down the rides that the SCMA offers to the members. Now, one thing about the SCMA, you do have to be a member. Mark, can you just kind of give us some information on membership?
Yeah, membership, you go to the website, and before you can sign up for a ride or those kind of things, you need to be a member. And it's a small fee. I think it's $25 now. The reason I don't know off the top of my head, and I should, is we have a 2-year option where you can get a little bit of discount for 2 years versus 1. But all of that, that $25 doesn't go into beer runs or anything like that. That keeps the site running, and that keeps us just operating, pays for our email service and operating expenses. So then when you decide you want to ride a ride and get certified or sign up for a 3 Flags or something, then there's an extra fee for that brings you other benefits that we can kind of go into.
Right. Now, a question that I have, Mark, is once you become a member of the SCMA, does that give you access to, say, maybe discount insurance, towing policies, or anything like that, or hotel discounts? Does any of that come with the membership?
Yeah, we're working right now. It currently does not, except on, for instance, 3 Flags ride. When we have 3 Flags, we negotiate discounts with all the checkpoint hotels and the start and the finish for everybody who's signed up for that ride to leverage. But right now we're working with a national provider who will also cover Canada for towing, not for insurance, unfortunately, because, and we'll talk about that a little bit later too. Insurance is the insurance business all the way around, as we all know, is kind of changing from what we expected in the past. And I can kind of talk a little bit about that too.
Okay. Outstanding. So, folks, there are benefits that come with that membership. Look into it. That's what I say, man. If you're going to join an organization, see what it has to offer you, and then look at the fine print, the small print, because there may be some extras that come with it, which is awesome. So we're going to jump right into it. Well, we have Reef coming in, but Reef is kind of sideways. I'm wanting him. There he is. How you doing, sir?
I'm good. Hey, just real quick, Mark did not mention that you do get a discount with MedJet for being an SCMA member. You do get a discount with MedJet.
Correct.
And MedJet is an emergency. They will come and evacuate you. They will, if you're more than 150 miles from home and you get in an accident, they will get you and your motorcycle home. If you had that on your policy, they will extract you. If you go to Thailand and there's another coup, they will extract you from the coup. If you get an accident in Mexico where you need cash up front, they will front, I think it's up to $60,000 per occurrence up front for you. So there's another benefit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey,
And how y'all
Reese,
doing?
real quick, if you could put a link for that information to MedJet in the comments or something, that would be great.
It would
Sure.
be.
Yeah.
It, would,
Hey, folks.
it really would be. It would be
Hey,
real
hey,
great. But
hey, listen. We've all sat around the table and just kind of chewed the fat and maybe just kicked one or
Yeah.
two back. We may have had a Shirley Temple here and there. Well, folks, we're talking just like if we were sitting at the banquet. This is just how familiar we are, the phone calls, the back conversations. So we're going to enjoy this. So you're going to hear us laughing, cracking jokes. That's just what we do, man. That's what we do when we get together.
For sure.
Mark started us off with one about a picture of him and Tone.
Yeah, we are good friends, and we see
Yeah.
each other not enough, but we're familiar enough. Plus, generally, if you drop me an email to either chairman or for one of the rides that I'm chairman for, I'll get back with you usually within 24 hours or so.
Right.
I'm still working full time, and sometimes I am out riding motorcycles, but I want to keep in touch with everybody and help them out and answer questions and touch base. I know there's people here on the chat, Becky and David Bell, and I could just go down this list and talk about all the people I've exchanged emails with directly, not just through a newsletter.
Right.
So
Yeah.
Definitely. Hey, folks, the link to MedJet just got posted. MedJet.scma for the discount. You can go and look into that. If you're traveling to Mexico, if you're traveling to Canada, I highly recommend that you invest in that, because you just never know what may happen when you're down there in international countries like that. First ride we're going to kick off, Mark, is I just want to bring on is going to be the Three Flags Classic. I think that is like probably one of the most iconic rides for the SCMA. Am I correct?
Yes, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
And the most popular.
And the most
every
popular.
year. We usually run between when it first started, and it first started in 76. There was 300 riders. Really, we started, in 68, and it was a very large organization. It's basically a gathering of small riders associations, local clubs that decide to come together and have a bigger club, if you will. And at that time, like riding in general, things have changed over the years for a lot of different reasons. But, riding, you couldn't buy a motorcycle without waiting for 6 months in 68, no matter whose brand you bought. So it was very, very popular. We had probably 10,000 or 11,000 members at the time. We even had to break up SCMA into 4 different regions to accommodate all the riders. But basically, it was formed just to promote family riding, and we do weekend rides and poker runs and all that kind of stuff that normal local clubs have. But in 76, as Ksolo mentioned, we started this ride called Three Flags, and basically it's Mexico, United States, and Canada. Many years we've ridden them all, but 3 years now for those. Different start locations, different finishes. Usually every 5 years. It's over Labor Day weekend. I'm getting ahead of myself. It's always over Labor Day weekend, except for 5 years. It's 4 days. So we'll leave on a Friday morning from Mexico, and then arrive on Labor Day Monday, and then we have a banquet on Tuesday night. Every couple of years, 2 or 3 years, we'll swap that and start in Canada, and then finish in Mexico. And like I said, this has gone on for 47 so far. I've actually got a 46 hat on tonight. And we kind of move around from location to location. In Mexico, we can't, for obvious reasons, can't start too deep in Mexico because it's that time of year. It's so hot. We need to get above the border kind of as fast as we can. And even riding through Arizona or Texas or New Mexico or Southern California, for that matter, it can be pretty warm that first day out. So for those who have ridden this ride before, there have been times going into the north where we've had to deal with snow, even on Labor Day weekend.
Yep.
A couple of years ago, matter of fact, in 2003, we rode from Puerto Penasco, which is, if you look at the top of the little gulf there in Mexico, and we finished in Calgary. It was hailing on us coming into Calgary, and everybody always asks the question, did you remember to bring your heated gear? And some do and some don't.
Right. Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, that ride is very popular. Right now, we have between 225 and 275 who run that ride. We do cap it at 300 just because we need to have a big enough space for banquets and our checkpoints and all that kind of thing. We typically stop, we have a Friday night. We want people to ride all day and then stop and enjoy dinner and make friends, and then get up early the next day and make it to the next checkpoint. Three Flags is not a race. Right. So we want everyone to enjoy each other's company. We don't ride as a group, but we ride as small groups, right? A handful of people. Right.
And that's what I enjoy about it. And our group has gotten larger and larger, Reef. Last year, what did we end up having total? Because it was high.
23
low.
Was our max.
23 was our max.
Every day we had no less than 18.
Yeah. And folks, the route was laid on perfect. The scenery was absolutely perfect. Plenty of food stops along the way. We didn't have to worry about gas stops. There was plenty of gas stops. So it was well thought out, well organized, and it was just some beautiful riding. I would,
thank you.
Yeah, I would tell anybody, you need to look at getting in on doing the Three Flags Classic for 26, because it has been the registration hasn't opened yet, but it's already laid on. It's already approved. Now, Mark, what are the changes to the Three Flags Classics? Is it going to be registration? Is it going to be participation?
Yeah, we haven't worked out all the details because of the recent changes on how we've had to govern our rides and all. So we're trying to make some plans. Insurance is kind of the dividing thing right now of how we do next year's. But typically, like I said, every for 4 years we do 4 days of rides, and every 5 years we do 5 years of rides. This coming up one will be the 48th. We've already announced that it will start in Ensenada. Ensenada, for those of you that doesn't ring a bell, that's where the Baja 1000 starts. Everybody in Ensenada has a motorcycle. You pull in to get gas in Ensenada, and everybody in the gas station wants to talk to you. Where are you from? Let me look at your bike. What you got? All this kind of stuff. Everybody loves motorcycle people. And then the finish is Nelson, and Nelson is in BC, about 150 miles on the other side of the border. And it's another motorcycle. Some of the best riding you can do in Canada is located in that part of British Columbia and stretches off in the western side of Alberta. So it's another 4-day ride. But again, we have 3 checkpoints set up for Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday night along the way. And while the rides are well planned, there's no dirt roads that we plan. We try to make sure as much as possible that we don't have the route go over a road that's being blacktop. We try to avoid construction. We try to pick roads that are scenic routes. This isn't an I-5 run or an I-10 run. We want to get you on good roads that you can have some good scenery, that has gasoline. We do a lot of planning to plan a good, safe ride that you'll enjoy. However, you want to make sure that I tell all the riders is, do not sleep until 10 o'clock and then stop for lunch because our checkpoints hours are posted to make sure that you're out and riding, and they close, at 8 o'clock at night. If you're not there at 8, in order to get the buckle at the end and get a successful finish, we give you passports. And so when you get to a checkpoint, you wait in line and they stamp it, and you pull a poker card because they have a giveaway at the end. But that, other than building a nice takeaway for the tour, is we want to control the flow of everyone. We don't want someone, because we're riding through the Western mountains where there's lots of wildlife, where there can be weather. We would ask you not to ride at night if you can avoid it. Like I said, the whole goal is to get everybody in our checkpoint towns that have good restaurants is, ride hard during the day, have fun, and then rest up at night and repeat it in the morning. But checkpoints have start times and finish times. If you do, get in early, you'll have to wait for them, but they're meant to be toll gates, if you will.
Okay. And folks, if you're not familiar with the system, you get your instructions, small banquet or small gathering, and then prior to starting, they always have instructional seminars, navigation, how to work navigation. If you're not familiar with how to upload your checkpoints or your waypoints into your navigation system, they have SCMA, that's subject matter experts there that'll teach you, walk you through it to make sure that you're good to go. They just don't kick you out the door like a paratrooper and say bon voyage. They make sure that you are squared away, which I loved about it, and man, just to sit in there and hear some of the stories, and you have people that's been doing this every year consecutively. That's almost done it every year consecutively, and then you also get to meet the chairs of the different rides, and it's a great time to just meet people, come together, and get some good information.
I was just going to add from a planning standpoint, what you'll usually see is in January when we open the ride for Three Flags for registration. I'll start sending out about once a month. I'll send out a registered riders instruction to everybody who's registered. And it goes through things. Here are the checkpoints, and where they're located. Here are the hours. Here's the checkpoint hotels. Here's your discount codes. Here's some things on the ride. There's fun things to do at the start, some information about the banquets. And then every month I'll send out an update, maybe a road change, to have links to the routes that you can look at. So this starts in January, and of course we don't ride till August. So you're getting revisions all the time and new content to help you plan your ride. And when I was a rider, I just couldn't wait to get those emails, because then I would go into it and redo all my planning and do all that kind of thing. So by the time August comes and you show up at the beginning, and we have our start banquet, and then we have our learning day, if you will. We've got first time riders briefing too. If you've never ridden it before, we kind of step through what you can expect, and you'll meet a lot of other people who, this may be a first, second, or third, and there'll be people in there who have ridden all of them.
Right.
There's a handful of people who have ridden all of them.
All of them, man, all of it. And the thing about it is, and what people may get confused about when they hear of the Southern California Motorcycle Association, is that it's just for the California area. It's not. It's open to the nation. It's open to the whole country, anywhere. You have people come, and Canada. I'm about to say, you have people come down from Canada and come up from Mexico. As a matter of fact, when we started in Mexico, there's a couple of motorcycle clubs that volunteer to come out and will escort you either in or out. Make sure that if you need bike repair, there's certain shops, and then also there are BMW have a mechanic come out. A couple of other brands have mechanics come out at the start of the event, and we'll go through your bike or check your bike out. Am I correct?
Yes, that's right. And also at the finish, we'll list dealerships who will be open, because it's Labor Day, even in Canada. If you need something, because you got to get home, right? A lot of people are driving a long way, and we do the same thing for the Canadians. Just from a I'd say 10% of the riders are from Mexico currently, and the rest of those, about half, are U.S. and the rest of them are from Canada. We also have people who fly in for Hawaii. We have a guy who comes in and his friends from Nigeria every year. And a lot of times they'll buy new motorcycles and then ship them home when they're done and they tour.
They do
all the time, and they do.
Yeah.
So everything is well represented. From a bike population, it's about 30% Harley, about 30% various BMW bikes, and probably 30% Hondas, and then there's always somebody there. There's people there with all other kind of bikes.
A victory.
Everybody. A lot of victories, a lot of a handful of Ducatis and all.
Yeah.
So there's even a few trikes and everything. So
as
long as about the only rule we have is you have to kind of get a special dispensation to have a four-wheeler. And we've reserved that pretty much for our older riders, but most of them are on trikes. A couple of years ago, our oldest rider award went to a guy who was 95.
95 years old.
95 years old.
95, folks. Come on now. Come on. If that's not inspired, come on now.
There you go.
Man, hey, look, I'm worried about next year. I'm like, whoo, kicking that leg across that saddle.
There you go. So it's quite popular. Like I said, my first year was 14 years ago. I just read an article in a magazine, and it was in June. And I said, this looks interesting. And it started in El Paso. And so I ended up buying a ticket from someone because they were sold out, and met in El Paso. And of course, that year, we didn't have start banquets yet. We were next door to a Village Inn pancake place, which was slammed, full of people who knew everybody. I go, what is this deal? Everybody knows this. But it's one of those kind of deals. But it's kind of matures over where, we do have a start banquet that's a lot of fun, and a finish banquet that's a good celebration too.
Okay. And folks, if you're just tuning in, we're talking about our first ride that we're talking about is the Three Flags Classic, which is probably the most iconic ride, the most popular ride with the SCMA next to, I would say, Four Corners. Next to Four Corners. Go ahead, Reed.
No, I was saying I think more people signed up for the Four Corners last year than they did the Three Flag, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, it's about. I think we had 97 finishers for Four Corners. But we did have 260 who did the Three Flag.
Right. Yeah. It is hey, what's going on? Highway Smiley tuning in. Thank you. And your wonderful wife. He's done it. Oh man, yes indeed. One other thing that I just wanted to just talk about with the Three Flags Classic. Now, it's typically
on my favorite route
on the West Coast. The farthest the organization have been east, starting and stopping the finish. I typically Baja Spur or Mexicali.
Mexicali. Right.
What is the farthest that the organization have come east with starting the
El Paso?
El Paso. That has been the farthest east. I just happen to have the history in front of us here. So really El Paso, Nogales a couple times. But you're kind of limited to the number of cities who can host an event of our size that's close to the border.
Right. Yeah, folks. I tell you, 300 bikes sitting in the parking lot. You're gonna need a big hotel. You're gonna need a big parking lot. And when we start out, man, it's boogity. It's organized. Don't get me wrong. We thank goodness, knock on wood, haven't had an incident that since I've been participating. Sharif and I've been participating, but it's boogity. But people are just ready to, excited to get to start riding, excited to get out there and start seeing the route, you know. And even if we've ridden it before, it's still exciting because there's turns and twists and everything. And then they also allow you to leave the route. And say, for instance, if you're doing Tour of Honor, you can leave the route, get your Tour of Honor sites, come back, get back on, as long as you are at the hotel during the time of the hours of check-in. Now, is it the Christian Motorcycle Ministry that does the?
Yeah, they do the checkpoints. They run our checkpoints for us.
They do shout out to them. They do an outstanding and fabulous job.
Yeah, to your point, a lot of people bring in California Adventures rides or Best 15 rides, or even Four Corners as part of this when they're trying to do multiple rides at the same time as the Three Flags Fly.
Right.
But to your point, you got to make your checkpoints.
We had a lot of people in our jumping in and out. I said we had a lot of people in our group jumping in and out doing 15 best, and they were doing the California Adventure Series. So that's why our numbers fluctuated between 18 and 23 most of the time.
Right. So for as far as the Three Flags Classic, the only changes that I can see right now is basically not happening this year, but online for next year.
That's correct.
Just registration, everything should be the same. So the information on the website is good to go, folks. The website, we just posted it, and we'll post it again. You can Google it, Southern California Motorcycle Association. It'll pop right up. It'll pop right up. So go check it out. You can follow right along with us, folks. Tone, any questions or anything you have for Mark?
No, y'all actually doing pretty good there. Y'all covering the few questions that I did have. The few questions that I did have, y'all pretty much covered it. But I do want to touch on one thing. I think it's important for anybody that do the ride, become familiar with your GPS, and if you have a Garmin, become familiar with Basecamp. They do have a class to teach you all this. And I thought that was like the best thing ever, because I sat in the class and they plotted out the whole route. It gave you the gas stops and everything. So, I would advise you to stop at the gas routes, because last year we was about to pass one and it wasn't about to be a good thing. So
it was about to be ugly.
Yeah, it was about to be ugly.
It was about
Talking about the one in Detroit.
Oh man.
I don't remember the city we were in, but we had to turn when we turned around and came back.
That was Detroit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, Kodak just asked, how long is your registration good for rides with SCMA? And I believe that answer is 2 years, except for the Three Flag Classic, which has to be that year, right, Mark?
Well, yeah, funny you should ask, because we've had to change. This year we've moved to a
There's no more registration.
Model. There's no more registration, and of course we'll do registration for Three Flags if we progress on as we're planning to for next year. You'll still do a sign up, and it's good for 1 year. So do you want me to go ahead and kind of jump into our new model, and then we can kind of talk about the rides? So we all know that the insurance industry has really affected everybody. I mean, if anybody who's paying motorcycle insurance or car insurance or house insurance is going to notice that your rates are going to jump through the roof. And a lot of times it's not because of your driving record, it's because the industry is changing. And honestly, it seems to me that insurance companies want to be banks now. They don't want to be insurance companies. And in their defense, with all the hurricanes and floods and fires, there's been a lot of outflows of money. With everybody knows healthcare is getting expensive. That has to be settled through lawyers and all that kind of stuff. So all the costs that surround the insurance companies have raised. So the rules have changed. So early this year, we typically in the past have bought insurance, our liability insurance, to the American Motorcycling Association. And this is for years and years and years. And of course, we haven't had any claims. But nonetheless, this year, they changed their underwriting, and it's really not the AMA's fault. And it's not anybody's fault. It's just insurance companies decided to do something different. A lot of big organizations that Ksolo referenced, even Ride to the Wall, had to really hustle to get insurance to keep their events going. And most people had to cancel their rides this year. Ride to the Wall, I understand, was able finally to get insurance, but it cost them almost close to $100,000 to do so. I haven't seen the bill, so I don't know how much it is, but that's what I was told secondhand. So, there's a lot of, you can attempt to recoup that through registration fees and all, but you still have to operate the rides. And SCMA, we're a nonprofit. We don't make any money off these rides. Any year that we have extra money, we end up being short the next, and we, cross pay other rides for awards and all that kind of stuff, and T-shirts, but it all comes out in the wash. We're all volunteers, don't get paid a dime.
Right.
So this year, the new rules, generally speaking, from AMA are the insurances. One, they can't write insurance for anything that crosses a state line. So if you have a local ride and you're going to ride within the state, this is the same with Delaware versus Texas. You have a lot more ability in Texas to go multi-days without crossing the state border. You can still get insurance. But if it's crossing a state, you can't. And they basically really only want to underwrite day rides touring rides within a state. Now they will do races and off-road races, which is kind of strange, even though I've got an off-road bike, but nothing that's what they call grand touring that we do typically, like Three Flags or Four Corners or Best 15 that goes over multiple states and they're self-guided. That they won't underwrite that anymore. So for all of our other rides, I'll hold Three Flags aside real quick, but we have our other rides are Four Corners rides. So, and then the True X variant of that which is different. We can talk about that. And then we have Best 15 United States ride.
Right.
And then we have the Mother Road Adventure Tour, which is my mind just at Chicago to Santa Monica, California on Highway 66. And then we have the Great Lakes Cabot Trail. So all of those rides don't fit the profile of one-day in-state rides. So typically you would sign up, pay a fee. We would send you T-shirts and hats and all this other stuff. And then when you finished, you'd turn in your report, and then we would issue a trophy for completion of that. Well, right. That would be considered a sponsored ride, and it leaves us responsible for anything that might happen while you're out on a ride. Okay. And without insurance, we just can't do that. So this year, the model, we've changed it. And in some respect, I think in most respects, as a matter of fact, it's better for the riders. So we've got all of our rides online, and you can read everything it takes to run this ride. Mm-hmm. And so if you go do it, go do it. You don't have to pay for anything. You don't have to reach approval. You don't have to get anybody to sign in. You can start when you want to. There are some time limitations. Right. And a lot of this is the IBA does the same thing.
So the time limitations are still there in place. 21 days for Four Corners.
That's correct. That's correct. And the same for True X. But there's no restrictions on Best 15, for example. Right. There's no restrictions on California Adventures, other than being someplace that's open that take the picture, right? There are some operational things you have to be aware of. Right. But the thing is, it's not a ride that you sign up for. And a lot of problems we had in the past is someone would sign up for Four Corners and they couldn't run it this year, or their bike broke down, or they hit a pothole and couldn't finish it. Nobody
Hey,
that I
Mark.
know, but
Just real quick, I'm sorry.
go ahead.
The Cabot Trail, is there no restriction on that as well? Because I thought, or did that change? I thought when I did it, there was one on it.
I think so, and I don't think. Let me look. I've got it right here in front of me. I've got all the rides, but I do not have a limitation. So you could do the top half and then do the bottom half, and the thing on that is I want you to see it.
Right.
It's not like Four Corners where there's more of a challenge to it. You could ride the southern half, or for those people who from the south say, I think I'm going to go ride the Cabot Trail at the end of March.
Oh, goodness.
Well, you're going to be surprised what you're going to see on the Cabot Trail.
Oh, goodness. Yeah.
If you do that. Or if you do it in November, it's a different ride. So, but Four Corners does. And of course, but anyway, the whole point of this is read the rules. And we're pretty laid back about the rules. I'm going to add some checkpoint pictures to the Cabot Trail because some of it's kind of it really describes the checkpoints, but not a good place to take a picture here to prove you were there. And so what will happen is after you've ridden the ride, just like you would for Iron Butt or remember the old big maps we used to get, and they had the suggested ride, whether it was Harley or car big maps. Hey, these are the best rides in America you could do. Well, if you send in your little form, they'd send you a little certificate. Well, we're kind of doing the same thing. At the end, send in your proof. We'll issue a certificate, and we're going to have an online store. If you want a T-shirt, great. If you want a hat to go with it, if you want a really nice trophy, some people don't have room in their house for another trophy. They just want a certificate. I mean, you can kind of look at my house. I'm done. Clear it off
I'm done, man. I'm topped off, man. I got stuff in boxes. I'm topped off.
so that way you can ride the ride. You can get the certificate. We'll charge them a minor fee for issuing a nice certificate along with that. Which will be your ride registration and your certificate, but you won't do it until you finish it. So, if you're halfway through the ride and can't finish it, no big deal. You're not out any money other than what it costs you to do the ride. So that's really the model we're going to do for all of our rides. And that makes it better. And also for buying your bling that you want right on the, when you get and this is still being tested on the website, when you submit your registration, then we'll send you back a link to the Bling website that only finishers have access to.
Because that was my question. That was my next question. People purchasing merchandise that may have not completed the ride, but you have it in place. There's checks and balances where verification need to be proven. Then they have access to it.
As soon as I click the approve sign, then that'll go to fulfillment, and then you can pick what you want. I think that some things are going to be automatic ship this year, unless you say you don't want it, because we've got stock already, like Four Corners.
Right.
Danny had a lot of stock built up. I've got a box of Great Lake Cabot Trails, I think of 40 shirts that we'll send out. But nonetheless, we're going to have other thing in there. I mean, where you can get coffee cups or koozies or whatever. You can just build your own package and include that. Three Flags we'll be doing differently. We'll be hopefully doing it exactly the same way we did before. Is you pay up front because we got to prepay for all the two dinners, and you'll get a hat, you'll get a T-shirt, you'll get a plaque, because we got to manufacture all those and they're ride specific for that year, and that will go in January. In the past, what we've done too. Yes, you do. I understand. Dennis, that's a great question. As a matter of fact, I got a board meeting tomorrow night The question was the
I seen that. I was going to get to that.
Yeah,
I was trying to make sure you
Mhm.
know.
yeah, they fit
Great
together.
question. Yep.
And as my understanding, there was some disagreement about internally about being able to meet the two together from different years. But I believe that that's going to be the case, that you can ride one half one year and one half the next, and it'll be enabled the same way, is
Right.
my understanding, unless for some reason I'm voted off the island.
No,
As
they
chairman.
definitely will keep you. You're not going nowhere.
Yeah, man.
So that's the way we really want to make it easy for everybody, because it's tough. There's a lot of us that are still working and all, and it takes time and money to do these rides, and you never know what the weather's going to do.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you could go at the best time of year. I have friends that said, best time to go to Alaska is if you go in July, you never worry about anything. And everybody that says that, all their riders that have been to Alaska are laughing behind their back, because you just never know.
Hey, if you go up to Prudhoe Bay, you either going to catch rain going up or coming back down. It's just guaranteed.
Well, and think about for you, everybody who has ridden, and there's a lot here who've ridden Four Corners in September,
Mm-hmm.
and going from Key West north to Madawaska.
Oh yeah.
If something comes in Key West and blows up the coast, you could be in it the whole way.
Yeah. Yep.
But long distance motorcycle riding is a heck of an adventure, and I love it. But it's not for everybody.
Right.
You know,
and that's what
everything ain't for everybody.
Everything ain't for everybody.
It's not a local poker run. It's not. And it's not ever going to be.
Right.
You got to take the good with the bad. It's all, you got to take it all together.
Absolutely. We encourage everyone to join a local club who do day rides and meet up for breakfast, and you have that local camaraderie. Or in some of our cases, we do ride to eat, because that's as close as we can get to it, of having a local club. But the local clubs kind of fill that void, and all of our members are spread out. Southern California does have the largest population of members, but a lot of those people are lifetime members, and they've kind of aged out. The thing about motorcycle riding is, and we'll all deal it, we will someday not be able to ride anymore.
Yes. I mean, that's inevitable.
Either can't ride the bike, or can't see at night, or whatever it is, we have to make that decision.
Right. So go ahead, Mark. Go ahead.
No, I was done.
Okay, so we're wrapping up the Four Corners. Now, inside of the Four Corners is the True X ride. Now, if you're not familiar with the True X is a crisscross where you start at either point of the five, and you have to go to Lebanon, Kansas, and then go to your next point, and then go back to Lebanon, Kansas to go to your next point. So you're making a True X, and that ride is about 11,000 miles, which they give you 22 days. Am I correct?
26.
Correct.
26 days. 26 days. Okay, 26. I'm reading this
21 for gold
with four contingency days. There you go. That's how you get that 26 with the 4 continuous days. And so look into that as well, folks. That's 11,000 miles.
That's not getting to the starting point.
That's not getting to the starting point. But if you live in Florida, if you live in Washington State, you start there. Yeah,
you live in Texas.
But if you live in Texas, but if you live in Texas, you're gonna catch it, man. It makes you scratch your head. So we're gonna move on to the best 15. Now, this one here, I've done this one twice, and there's more than just 15 rows that you can choose from. So don't think that it's just those 15 rows. You just have to complete 15. I think it's probably maybe 30 rows or highways.
20.
But the thing to it is that some of the roads, and I just want to just go ahead and put this out there, especially in California with the forest fires, with the earthquakes, with everything, the mudslides, some of the roads like 70 has been closed for probably the last 3 years, just local traffic on it only. Reef, you got hit with it. I got hit with it. Tone, I think you may have gotten hit with it during the best 15, Highway 70.
Blue Ridge is like that now.
Yeah, and Blue Ridge Parkway is like that. There's certain sections, and the
a
thing
couple
about
sections there, I think, for Blue Ridge.
right, and the thing about the SCMA is, they give you guidance and guidelines so that you still can be successful. Don't panic. Don't sit there and say, "Oh, I'm messed up. It messed me up," and start cursing and going off at the construction guys, telling you need to go through, and the guys sit there and tell you there's a cliff over there, and you still want to go through. But don't worry about it. The SCMA, all you do is pick up a phone, give the chair a call to kind of let them know your situation. They give you instructions to say, "Hey, look, if the road is closed, get a picture of the closure, get a picture of your start point, and you'll be good." Am I right, gentlemen?
Correct. Unless they change it. The last I know, that was correct.
Yep, that's the case. We want everybody to be successful on every ride, and we know things happen,
Right.
and so we can give people passes for and workarounds for problems. And what we do also, like on Best 15, we try to, even on the Great Lakes too, we try to stay abreast of construction and problems like that, and maybe drop a ride or add another one. I mean, like I said, Best 15, but we may have 16 or 17, and you kind of pick the ones you want to. So if one is out of service for that year, then we'll add another one, or maybe add two. So, but the whole idea is we need to know about it. If you know something's not working or out of service, and let us know, and we can deal with it.
Right. And folks, road closures happen all the time. It is what it is. It's Mother Nature, and it happens. So you just have to be flexible, know what to do, who to call when you run into those situations. Becky had a question come across. Do we still get belt buckles for Three Flags Classic?
We will when we run it next year. Yep.
Okay. So
Finish.
So 26, Becky will be getting belt buckles started back up, and it's always great. It's always fun to get that belt buckle at the finish. It just feels good to get that thing, man. Yeah. And Becky rode with us for the second time last year, didn't she, Reef?
Yeah, she's rode with us twice.
She's been with us twice. So outstanding. Thank you for that question, Becky. All right. So
even led the last leg.
She did. And that's one thing good about it when you ride with a group. Let the leader rotate. Don't have the same person, leading the ride. I know Reef would get stuck with it. I just pull up the back. That's just me. I'm the sweeper. But the thing is give other people a chance to kind of experience that leading the group, going through the back rows, and trust me when I tell you, the turns, the turns are marked, but you potentially could miss a turn. We got all the way to the finish line of a leg, and I think all of the riders that was in the group at the time kind of took their own route, probably the last 3 or 4 miles to get to the hotel up in Canada. And I know Snacks was we were just laughing. we were just laughing. It was just so funny. Like, I got us all the way here, and then the last 3 miles, but you're gonna have some stories. You hear people telling stories. It's always fun. Highway Dre, he's getting ready to push out. He received his books today. He posted up on social media. So good luck to you, Dre. He's headed out to California for the California Adventure Series, and I think that may be our next ride. This is just wrapping up the rules for the Best 15, and then we're going to go into the California Adventure Series. Yes, indeed. Reef, you want to go ahead and lead California Adventure Series?
Yeah, so the California Adventure Series is three-part. It's a three-part ride. You got the California missions, which is 21 missions. You got the National Park ride, and then you have the 15 Best Roads to California. And the 15 Best Roads to California has 4 different road selections, A, B, C, or D, that you can choose from the ride.
Mhm.
You do all of those. Currently, it's called the California Triple Crown. There was some rumblings that was going away, but I don't. That's a question or a subject for Mark right there.
Yep. Not going away.
Good.
It's
That's
not going
great.
away.
Still staying in place.
Woohoo.
So if you complete all 3 of those rides in a calendar year, then you are the recipient of the California Triple Crown. And yes, Kodak earlier stated the SCMA has the best swag. I agree with that. They have some great swag.
Thank you.
Hands down,
Definitely.
the
Great
best swag,
Yeah,
man.
definitely.
From the
That's what
T-shirt.
got me over there. You kept me over there.
Yeah,
That's right.
you know. Yes, indeedy. The Bells, David Bell said the SMA ride directors are great and will get back with you fast if you encounter a problem with a route. And yes, they will.
Yes, they will.
Yes,
So one of the changes this year or compared to past years is when you did the adventure series, you got 3 books. One for the missions, one for the 15 best roads, and one for the national parks. Now, if you want said books, they're $50 per book, and they have the instructions. Other than that, if you don't, it's a picture ride. So you can use Spotwalla or One Day. Is it called One Day?
Day
One a
one.
day?
Yeah,
Day one.
Yeah.
they won.
Yeah. So both of those are, if you're not familiar with Spot, then you don't ride long distance. But both of those are tracking, journaling kind of rides where they will track your whole ride, and you can insert pictures into the ride and notes into the ride. So all of your pictures, receipts and missions and the roads and all of that will be in Spotwalla or Day One. And then once you finish said ride with said tracking service, then you send that in, or as Solo has in his hand, you send in the books.
I think y'all are going away from the bookstore, right, Mark?
It's an
Well,
option.
for California Adventures, Les he likes his books because some people like the momentum.
I love it.
mementos.
Yes.
Well,
because you
yeah,
can put picture in there, that you can look back when that time come where we can't ride anymore. I can always look back and say, yeah, I remember when I got caught in the snow at Lassen National Park.
Well,
there you
in
go.
all fairness, you can open up that computer program too, where you got your spots at, and open up your spots and be like, "Hey, look at this picture." And you just click on it.
That's true.
Yeah,
So-
and my mailman was mad when I got your package full of books. He said, "What the heck is this? You're killing me here, Smalls."
Oh man.
So
And
it
I
does
took that
save
thing
a
and said
ton
I
of
had to
money.
mail that on. Yeah.
Yeah.
It saves a ton of money by not having to mail that stuff in. And like one of the books had to go to somebody in the middle of West Virginia somewhere, and I had to pay extra to get it mailed to his house. So it saves you a lot of money by doing it electronic.
Yeah. I've used Spotwalla combined with the Spot device for years, and then when they came up and had the app that works on your phone, and I didn't have to keep all those gas receipts and everything for the IBA, it was like hallelujah. So you're there, you just take a picture, it knows automatically where you are. I've got all those. I bring up Spotwalla and people say, "Why do you like Spotwalla?" And I open it up and they go, "Oh, this is why you do." And oh, by the way, why were you driving so fast here? Because I recorded your time. It's like, well, that's in kilometers.
Hey, Joe and Bev had a question. When will registration be open for the Three Flags Classic?
We're
January
hoping
next year.
January 15th next year.
January 15th, 26. So for everybody just tuning in, the Three Flags Classic registration will open up next year officially. So just stay tuned.
Out of the note.
Yeah, stay tuned. Stay in the saddle. Stay motivated, and we're gonna kick this thing right back off. Let's see, Mark, for Cabot Trail Tour, do we snap photos with our bike at designated locations and upload to an app or online? I haven't checked the new site. Last visit was a few months ago.
Yeah,
we're gonna refer you to the site.
Yeah, I've been slacking. I just I have some. You can either do it the old-fashioned way, just taking pictures and mailing me the pictures of you and your bike. I don't care about the mileage, or I don't need gas receipts. Right. I just want to know that you did it. So my preference, I mean, if I could choose in a perfect world, is everybody would use Spotwalla, and then you'd use the app in Spotwalla, and I'd bring up that map, and there's your picture right where you're supposed to be, and I can follow your route. And that would be the easiest thing for me. And then you've got the route too. So but we'll work with you. I mean, some people like the day one thing. The problem is day one, it generates such a big file, it's hard to mail back and forth. And it's another app you got to do. So I was trying to do mine just as close to what the long distance riders with IBA are doing. And
we appreciate that.
Yes.
Yeah. Using the Spot device.
Because most people using Spot anyway.
Right. We're gonna break. How can you miss the turn? Okay, Dave. Oh man,
that's when you're following your wife. That's when you miss a turn.
Oh man, how can you miss a turn?
You miss a turn because you don't download the route.
Yeah. Hey, Bobby Oaks, thank you for joining us tonight. We're getting ready to just kind of wrap up the not Three Flags, but the California Adventure Series. And for those who don't know what the California Adventure Series all entails, it is a list of the missions tour, the state parks adventure, and the California Road Challenge. National Park. That's all centered around in the state of California. So the California Adventure Series, to me, I would say necessarily the most challenging, but you have to time it just right. If you say, for instance, I left the East Coast and I rode all to California. I started in San Diego, and
what month? Solo, what month did you start in San Diego?
Yeah. Oh man, you can't give it all to him, man. But the thing is, I started out and I plotted. I literally sat down and I have to thank Monica. Monica, that's one thing that she loves to do. She loves to plot. She loves to pull it up on the map and have her locations. And she put all of the points on the map. But as far as timing of when the location would be open, because some missions don't open on, say, Monday, may not open on Tuesday. Hours may close at 4 or 5 or whatever the case may be. And you're trying to go from checkpoint to checkpoint. You're trying to go to a state park. You're trying to go to a mission, or you're trying to go to, say, get a road here. To kind of weave your way up to the next point. So the California Adventure Series is truly a challenging ride. It's not something where you can just sit out and say, I'm going to go out there for a week or 2 weeks and knock it out. You have to really plan, because one mistake can cost you, where you may have to end up going past a location, going hundreds of miles out of the way, and then sweeping back to get that location. And then as we were riding back for Three Flags last year, the internment camp reef. Remember that one? No, it wasn't the internment camp. It's the one before.
Yeah, it was the Devil's Post Pile.
Yeah, Devil's Post Pile. And then too, you still have some closures up there, depending on the elevations. It still may be snow caps. So Lassen Park, it was snow. I mean, they had banks up over my head, 10, 12 feet. So
only the parking lot was
timing. Yep, it's all about timing, folks. It's all about timing when you're going out to California. What may be sunny down at the bottom, it may be snowing at the top. All right,
It
Go ahead,
varies for everybody, and if just know that if you're serious about doing a lot of the SCMA things, the 15 best roads in the California anyway, you definitely should invest in a national parks pass. It will save you a ton of money,
Yep.
a ton of money. So, and you will use it.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
will use it.
And veterans, 100% disabled veterans, I think you get a free pass. But
I
don't
think
get
it's 30% higher, but don't get.
don't get state parks and federal national parks confused. Don't get them mixed
They're
up.
not the same.
They're not the same. So
Not the
we
same.
just want to throw that little piece of information out there.
One national park may cost you $25-$30 for a motorcycle, where if you're not 100% disabled, you can get a park pass, I think, for like $90. So it definitely will benefit you if you go ahead and spend the money and get a national parks pass.
Right.
Same
right,
thing
right.
for seniors. You can buy a lifetime pass for national parks that I got at 65, and I've been riding on it for a few years. I've saved a ton of money.
Yes.
Ton of money.
Yes, good deal. Gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and touch on the Cabot Trail. This was my first time going up there, riding it past Nova Scotia, just keep on going all the way up. And it was beautiful. I mean, it was absolutely beautiful. The scenery
So
was
Tombo was
beautiful.
one of the first ones to do it, and he had to do it in order. When he did it, that is no longer a requirement. That's what he was hitting that mark at earlier, because he was a little salty that I didn't have to ride it in order.
I'm still salty.
Go ahead, Tom.
Go ahead,
You
Tom.
was one of the first ones to do it.
You were the first ones.
I mean, we just said it. I was salty. It was. So when I did it, I mean, the weather was just bad the whole ride. The first 6 days it poured and poured and poured, and then the seventh day it was like boom, like it never rained at all. And by then I was just so done. I was like, man, I'm just trying to get back home. But definitely, I'm just definitely do the Cabot Trail. I think that's the ride around there, even coming back around the Great Lakes. I think that's a great ride. It's great sightseeing, and
Right.
everybody. I think everybody should do that.
Yeah.
And then also, I got a small knife. Is there any chance that I can get a bigger knife?
Yeah, do it again.
The first knife was small.
Do it again. Do it again.
Bob. I salute to Bob. Bob is my man.
Man.
Bob did good. When Bob and I first talked about having a ride up in the Northeast, because we have so many members on the East Coast, and we wanted to attract some new people from Canada, from the Maritime provinces. But we talked about this, and I was pretty specific. I said, Bob, and obviously, if you looked at Bob and you looked at me at that time, we were both a little like we were interviewing for Santa positions. So I said, Bob, the true honest thing about this ride is we're motorcycle riders who like to eat, or actually we're foodies who have motorcycles. So make sure where you pick these places out this route, there's good food. So if you ride this ride and don't get enough lobster, it's your own fault.
It is your own fault.
It is. It really is. Mark, is there any changes to Cabot Trail?
Not this year. I'm going to go into the checkpoints here on the site and give suggested places to take a picture, because that did come up. For instance, it says here on the Lake Champlain Ferry, it doesn't tell you where to take a picture. Just take a picture at the, the sign where you get on or the sign you get off. I assume if you get on, then you're going to get off sometime. The same
Take a
thing
picture while you're on the water, while you're crossing.
Yeah, you could do that too, but somebody wanted to be specific. They
I
just
took
wanted to know for sure.
There was never specific. I'm sorry.
Same thing with Kamuskus. I can never pronounce it. Route 12 through New Hampshire. I picked out a sign. It's about halfway through. It's where a trail starts. It's a trail marker, and there's parking around there where it's easy to get off the road that's not in knee-deep gravel or sand, and you can take a picture and then take off. But I wanted to be the ride chair of this after Bob passed, But just, do your best. I mean, if the Mackinac Bridge, if you want to take a picture of your bike going over that grading halfway through, that's good enough for me.
Yeah, you wouldn't do that.
You go right
You
ahead.
Yeah.
That's why you have your passenger do it.
Yeah, I hate to talk about that bridge too much because when Bob put it on the list, we didn't have any way to go around it. And I said, I've been on that bridge once before a long time ago, and it's a surprise waiting for everyone.
Yeah, I hope it's just a clear day. If it's a clear day, you got a better, you'll have a better experience. But if it's not a clear day, or if it's windy,
or wet,
wet and
or wet,
windy.
Oh,
Yeah, that's a bonus.
Yeah.
I'll give you a bonus point for doing it on a wet and windy day.
Okay.
Hey, Ksolo, go back for me real quick. Go back and slide. So, folks, if you're interested in doing a Great Lake Cabot Trail, these things here are optional. I highly recommend that you look at them all prior to going on your ride because there's some beautiful things in that optional section. So, if you like me and like to get out and explore, there's plenty of stuff there to get out and explore too.
And a lot of them are back rows. Trust me when I tell you, triple nickel is another great one. And then there's other stops not too far away, not off the route, sites that like POIs that you can see. Tour of Honor stuff and
tunnel trees and the giant goose and Wawa.
Overhead covered bridge. A lot of good stuff.
Now, folks. Niagara Falls, I'll tell you right off the bat, if you can't hit it during the week, don't do it on the weekend. It's just so crowded on either side.
Horrible.
It's you'll spend a whole day in traffic getting in and out. Just buy a postcard.
Right.
So most of them stops on the Cabot Trail. They are an actual sign of.
It is.
So you can actually stop and take a picture. That was one of the problems I had when I first did it, and I was calling Bob back and forth. I said, "Hey man, we don't have any destinations. What you want me to do? How do you know I'm going to be here?" But so I just started taking pictures by the actual sign. Like there's a Cabot Trail sign, there's a Niagara Falls sign, there's the Prairie Monument. Yeah, there's even right before you go across that bridge, there's a park right at the foot of the bridge. You can go in, and there's a spot that you can actually take a picture. You can take a picture of the sign, and then it's actually a spot where you can take a picture of the bridge if you want to do that as well.
Right. Okay. And Mark,
this is one reason I really push Spot Walla. You don't, I know where you are.
Right.
The picture you take and put with the little camera app, that's just bonus for both of us in the future. But like I said, you're not filling out your taxes here. If you get close enough, you're close enough, and everybody will cut you some slack. It's not Four Corners. Four Corners, you better darn well be where you're supposed to be.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Good deal. All right. So we're going to get ready to go into our last ride. This here is new to the SCMA. Mark, I'm going to let you take all of this one.
Yeah.
And that is a beautiful trophy right there.
It is. It's not broken. We didn't drop it. We did it on purpose. We wanted to have a ride that had lots of mountains and lots of twisties. And this is not it.
No.
This is going to be the flattest, straightest ride you've ever been on. I mean, all your mountains are going to be overpasses and all, but it's we're coming up on a big anniversary of this highway, and slowly but surely, I mean, some parts of it are being restored, but other parts are disappearing. This ride is to see it and to do it. Every point that is pointed out in the ride, for those of you who've done it, is a reason. We want you to stop there. There's only one place that we got to receive some feedback. It was a bar someplace in Texas, or anyway, it was a little the lady didn't feel comfortable stopping and going in this motorcycle bar. I said, hell, you're on a Harley and stuff. They're not going to give you a hard time. But nonetheless, every place where everyone's stopped, I've got nothing but positive feedback. And I grew up in Tulsa, Oklahoma, on Route 66, and know several places, and Claremore, and all along that Oklahoma City, where it all goes through that part of the world. There's just all kinds of cool stuff to see, and we try to slow you down on this ride to see these places, so you can talk about them. You know, again, wherever you go, people are going to stop and want to talk to you about your motorcycle. Mm-hmm. Where are you going? What are you doing on Route 66?
Right. And folks, I know we've hopped back and forth. I know I've hopped back and forth a little bit here, a little bit in Winslow, a little bit in Arizona, you know. So the thing is, this year I will be doing the entire length of the Route 66, and I'm going to incorporate it into my 10th four corner. So this should be a fun ride. It should be a fun ride. I'm going to take my time on this one and take in all the sights. And then, too, here's another thing about Route 66. Route 66 going through a city looks totally different than during the day. The lights are lit. The old antique lights are lit up. And then when it's like maybe New Mexico or something like that, it's beautiful scenery. You know, the sun's coming down. It's just beautiful. It really is. So I'm looking forward to it. I know we actually rode part of Route 66 Reef, not last year, but year before last, Three Flags Classic. I think we were.
We did.
Yeah, we hit it.
I'm getting a lot of I'm getting emails from people from overseas who are wanting to come over just to ride this ride. Just on vacation.
Okay, it's a good ride, folks. I highly encourage everybody to kind of take it all in. I know Highway Dre said I really enjoy the eastern side. Yes, minus the rain. Yes, Dre. Good deal. Folks, we have Mark Burdick on with us tonight, the chair of the SCMA. He's been doing an outstanding job for the past 3 years. It's a well-organized organization with a lot of perks, a lot of benefits. I would encourage everybody to sit there and look into becoming a member. The membership is only maybe like $25-$30 to join, and then start looking to some of these rides, because they have some awesome and amazing rides. We've been talking about them tonight. The history of the SCMA, they've been around since 1967, 1968. Mm-hmm. And so they've been around a long time, folks, a long time. And so it's well established. It's known worldwide, and it's not fly by night. So it's definitely something you want to look into, get it. And also, I just want to say this, and I think, was it D-Bell? Rita said the swag. Who said the swag was just amazing? Kodak said nothing absolutely wrong when he said the swag is awesome. We did, Reef and I completed the Grand Slam this year. We did the Triple Crown last year, and we were coming out of there like this right here. But for the Grand Slam, it was over. There's nothing.
Well, why don't you tell them what the Grand Slam is?
I was gonna go there.
Okay, go ahead, Rick. Go ahead.
Well, so first, before we get to the Grand Slam, we got the Triple Crown. The Triple Crown is when you do any 3 of the premier rides in the calendar year. You successfully complete those, and you complete the Triple Crown. We mentioned earlier the California Triple Crown. That's when you do all 3 California rides, Adventure Series rides at the same time. That's the California Triple Crown. So you got the California Triple Crown, you got the SCMA Premier Triple Crown, and then you got the Grand Slam, and that's when you do all rides SCMA.
In 1 year.
So,
in 1 year.
In 1 year. In 1 year. So the year Solo, myself, Monica, and Ed finished, which was last year, we had to do the California Adventure Series, the 15 best roads, the Habit Trail, 3 Flag Classic, 4 corners, and 15 best roads. Did I say that one already? And then now you have to do all those rides plus both sides of the Mother Road. in 1 calendar year. And if you do that, then you have successfully completed the SCMA Grand Slam. And I don't know what the swag procedure is going to be for that one, but I can tell you that I needed another portion of a house to put all of that swag.
That's all right. You buy a new house. You're a realtor. You just buy a new house.
There you go. You tell it to itself.
Yeah.
I do have a question though. You touched on something. Brief. You touched on Premier Rise. So my question, either you or Mark can answer it because you seem to be pretty knowledgeable with this. But is all of the rides Premier Rise now, or just still a certain few? Because before it was like certain rides were Premier Rides, and then there were other rides. And then my second part of this question is, do you plan on adding more rides in the future, or are we just looking at what we're looking at right now for now?
Well, we have our smartest people thinking about that as we speak. Now we probably will add another ride or two over the next few years, so it'll be even more difficult to get Grand Slams. I mean, we only have 2 people who've got 3, right?
Or 2.
2.
Or 2 rather. 2.
Yeah.
2.
Monica's done twice, and
Monica and then.
Yeah, so only have 2. This year will be a short year because we don't have 3 flags. So if you want to do a Grand Slam, do it quick this year. You'll be one trip down. We don't have any particular ride identified now as this. We have talked about some rides specifically in Canada that might be well worth adding to the portfolio. Have always I just got back from New Orleans from Jazz Fest, so I'm still speaking with a drawl. But I always thought it'd be nice to maybe start in New Orleans and finish in Montreal. And there's lots of French cities in between those two, St. Louis and others that you could put together. And there's no mountains, but there's some twisty roads, or putting those kind together. So there's all kinds of discussions. There's somebody who thinks that 89 would make, for a lot of you people who ride a whole lot, a Highway 89 that starts in Bisbee and finishes in Montana might make a good candidate because parts of that ride are fairly challenging.
Yeah, it's a good ride, especially through Arizona.
Yeah.
Arizona's tough, but think about the north end. Where's that taking you? That takes you right through Jackson and all the way up. So, but anyway, those are always discussions.
So there's still room on the plate.
Absolutely. You never know. Maybe we'll get big enough that we have a Grand Slam East and a Grand Slam West. The whole focus on everything that we do
to get you to ride.
Everybody is for the riders, right, and the members. What can we do to make it exciting and interesting for y'all and new people to come in, and to keep you and me? We are the SCMA. It's not some plaque someplace or some office building or something else. It's us riders. We're the SCMA, and when we quit riding or quit bringing new people in to ride, that's when the SCMA will end, as a lot of other organizations have. So we want to keep it interesting and exciting, and we care. So tell us what y'all are thinking and wanting and needing, and we'll do our best to get it done.
Right, folks.
And we've been bringing a lot of new people.
We've been bringing them.
Yes, you have.
We've been bringing
them. You have.
Good deal. All right, gentlemen, we've been on for probably about an hour and a half. I'm going to get ready to wrap this show up. Mark, I think we touched on all of our hot spots and all of our changes and everything like that, which has been great. We've answered a couple of questions. I know some of our new riders, Kodak's been out here asking some questions. Hello from New Orleans, Bobby. Thank you for joining us. Thank you. And definitely, folks, go to the website. We posted the link a couple of times. We can post it again. And take your time and look through the SCMA catalog of rides. look at the rules and regulations, and look at the location where they take you. You will not be disappointed. I can guarantee you will not be disappointed. I'm gonna go around the room and we're gonna close it up. Tone.
Hey, again, if you really want to get into some good riding, some good sightseeing, and you can actually take your time to do it, do these SCMA rides. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. And on that note, we're leaving out, so I'm gonna leave you with be safe and just ride.
There it is, right there, folks. There it is, right there. All right, the guy who just a guy who likes to ride his motorcycle.
One, Mark, I'm in your area, so hit me up for lunch tomorrow if you're free. And then two, piggyback off of Tone, it's a great organization for rides that aren't extreme. I think, in my opinion, the closest one to extreme is doing the True X. Unless you're like Chuck Marble and you attempt to do 10 True X's back to back to back to back to back to back to back. All the rides are you can take your time and enjoy the ride for the ride, and you're not pressed by a clock.
Right.
So Three Flag Classic is on one of the rides, and I don't have a lot that are on. That's on my list to do every year as long as I can ride a motorcycle. So it's a good organization, a great organization. They're not in your pocket to fill their pockets. I'm not saying it's free, but the you see the end result. They have some of the best swag, and if you're a swag collector, this is the organization for you. And then with their new model, it may even save you a couple dollars if you don't want all the swag, but you still want to enjoy the ride. So get out and explore. See you on open road.
All right, all right, sir. I'm gonna let you get ready to close us out here. We've truly enjoyed you coming on and explaining everything to us. Like I say, it's just like us just sitting around the table at one of the banquets somewhere, or at the end of the Three Flags ride,
or at the RTE, which we will
at the
all be at.
RTE.
Yeah.
Which we will all be at this year,
That's right.
Yeah, we sure will. We sure will. Well, thank
along
you
with
all
the
very much.
chairman of the IBA.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you all very much. It's a privilege and an honor to be on your show and talk about SCMA. I love the organization, and I really like all of our riders, and in 14 years, I didn't know anybody because I was just some guy off the street showing up to do a ride. And now I've just, got a large group of friends and a big family. So thanks again. And when you go to the website, if you got a question about any of the rides, on each page, there's a click to the ride share, and they can answer your questions. And if they don't, or you have a problem or something like that, just send it to chairman at sign, and that'll come to me, and I'll answer.
Right. And he will do that, folks. He will do that. I think I don't think there's been a time that Mark hasn't responded back to some of my crazy questions, or can I get away with this, or and all of the chairs have been like that. Well, gentlemen, this is going to conclude for tonight. From the comments that's been coming on Facebook, social media, and other platforms, it's been very informative. I think people need to hear this about organization, hear about changes firsthand, live, and that way they can interact and there's no confusion. I really enjoyed putting this show together tonight and having everybody on. I thank my co-hosts Reef and Tone for coming on. The reason why I brought them on, because they've all participated in it. They all have their own style of get down. They've all seen different things, and that's what I wanted to bring to the table tonight. Pull out those questions, ask Mark these questions that, hey, let's get everybody involved. Let's get everybody engaged. And I think we've had some good dialogue tonight. All right, folks. With that being said, I'm gonna say good night to my co-host and to my special guest. You gentlemen have a good night. And definitely be safe out there on the road. Reef, you on the road.
I am.
All right. Y'all have a good night.
I am in Paris.
All right. You take care, my brother.
Thank you.
All right. Y'all have a good night, gentlemen. All right. Well, folks, I think I might have cut Mark off just a little too soon. But Let me bring him back in here. I cut y'all just a little too soon. You were saying something, Mark. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I just said thank you. Had a great time. I'll see
Okay.
you later.
All right, good deal. All right, folks, they mentioned the ride to eat. You know what time it is. You know what time it is. The Reef and Ksolo official ride to eat. 2nd through the 4th of October, 2025. We're going to be in Conway, Arkansas. That's where the host hotel is going to be. And we're going to be breaking bread in Little Rock. And as you know, we're going to do a historic ride down in Little Rock, Arkansas, back up in there somewhere. So we're going to have a great time. We're looking forward to everybody coming. For all our first timers, we're going to welcome you. For all our family reunion members, it's going to be great to see you. Bring your riding stories, bring your fish stories, bring it all, because that's what the RT is about. It's not a party. It's a big family reunion. And that's what we love. Riders, long distance riders, short riders, different organizations come together. The only thing that we ask is you don't wear club colors, because it's not the organization, it's the rider that we want to see. All right, folks, I've enjoyed you tonight. Thank you for tuning in with Riding with Ksolo, the podcast show right here. You can catch us on YouTube, Facebook, and Spotify. Thank everybody for asking questions. Thank everybody for the comments. Thank everybody for sending stars. Thank everybody for purchasing merchandise. It's been fabulous. It's been fabulous, folks. It's been a journey. And on that note, y'all have a good night, folks.